Great to have you both in. First of all, start off doing a bit of an introduction. Who are you, your roles, where you are, and where we're going at the moment.
Yeah, I'm Alex Carter. I'm from Lincolnshire originally. I moved to Manchester when I was 16 on my own to attend the Joe Gallagher Boxing Academy, and with the dreams to turn pro and try to get as far as I can in the sport of boxing. So far I've managed to turn pro and I've had 3 professional fights as well as many amateurs before that, and I've just started training with Ryan full time. This is Ryan.
Hello. Ryan Oliver, former professional boxer, now coach. Got a few people who I work with. Been retired, sounds weird saying retired, but been retired 3 years now, so my last fight was in 21. And yeah, we're working with Alex for the last, I've been working for quite a few months, but full time, just me and him for the last, month or so.
Yeah.
It's going well.
Great. And so did you coach him through his latest fight?
So Alex was working with a good friend of mine, Danny, who did bring Alex to where he was, obviously before he was with me, but Danny's got other things going on, a lot of other things on his plate, so they had a chat together and decided that they were going to come to me because I'm fully licensed with the British Boxing Board. So I've been in the corner for all of his fights, all 3 of them. Before that, we'd just do the odd session together, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Just to familiarise ourselves with one another. But I think for the last one, we probably did the most work we've ever done.
Yeah, definitely.
It was probably your best performance as well.
It was, yeah. Every fight's an improvement.
The most recent one?
Yeah, his last fight was without a doubt his best performance. And obviously he was still working with Danny then. I'm not taking the credit for it. It was both of us. We've been told, both done a good job with him so far, and I think he's improving again. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, definitely.
Great, but you won the fight, I remember, and tell us a bit about it. Tell us just, how did you prepare for it mentally, physically? How did it go down itself? How did you feel after it?
We had about 8 weeks of a proper camp since finding out I was going to be fighting. So I was getting the weight down, obviously getting to peak physical performance that I could, and we had a lot of sparring for that fight, as my others, it was lacking in sparring, as we just struggled to find people to spar. So we had a lot of sparring down at Anthony Croller's gym, sparring Will Croller and a few of the other lads there. And that prepared me for that fight a lot more than the other ones I've had, as I'm getting this top level sparring with top level lads. Mm-hmm. Going into the fight, I was very relaxed going in, knowing that I've been improving throughout the sparring, throughout the weeks of coming up to the fight. So I went in very confident, stuck to the game plan of just sticking to what I know. Nice straight shots. I've got an amazing jab, so I stuck to the jab, everything off that, and won the fight, or won all 4 rounds, and performed very well.
I think that was the main difference, what you were saying there about the sparring. Any fighter going into a fight, if you've not had them rounds in preparation, then you're not going to perform to a level in which you should be or can be. And because he'd had so much more time in the ring, it's just like match fitness for like a footballer.
Yeah,
you can train, you can be fit and whatever else, and you can be good in training. But if you've not had that match fitness, it'll show on the night, and I think it showed on the night because he'd had that good prep and the good solid rounds of sparring, and that's why it was his best performance.
Showing up for the training, when it counts, I guess, yeah. So mentally, how do you prepare on the night when you're going into your fight? What was going through your head?
To start with, I'm very relaxed. I'm very simple man. Yeah, I'm a very simple man. I don't worry about too much. I just like to get on with things. So
I'm more nervous than him, just pacing around the changing room.
Really?
Yeah, I weighed in, did all that stuff, saw the doctor, and I'm relaxed at that point, and then psyched myself up as we're doing a bit of pads and that in the changing room, ready to do the ring walk. And then as soon as you hit your ring walk, that's when you get really switched on and ready to go.
So you're not the kind of person who gets nervous on fight night?
No, definitely not. No.
Well, I suppose that kind of would help you. And so you went in with your game plan. You say you stuck to your game plan.
Yeah.
And it paid off, right?
Yeah, it did. Yeah. Yeah, it was a difficult opponent. He come forward. He was taking everything I was giving to him. Yeah, very tough lad. So.
Do I remember you saying your opponents were switched shortly before the fight? Is that true? Did you say that?
That was for my first fight.
That was the first
Yeah,
one, right?
my first professional fight, my
It
debut.
was switched this one as well, wasn't it? CJ
Yeah.
Woods wasn't the original opponent, but we had enough
Yeah.
time.
Oh, we had,
I think
a
it was
week
good,
or two. Yeah.
Yeah,
Couple of weeks.
couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks.
Does
Kevy's
that
manager
affect you
went
much? I mean, do you know the people ahead? Do you know what their fight style is? Do you make a plan to tackle them individually?
Yeah, so Kevy's manager, Kevin Marie, who's a great bloke and doing top things in boxing, he was my manager when I was a pro. I've got a great relationship with Kev, so it's a perfect little family unit sort of thing, which is, I think, vital as well in boxing.
Yeah,
so he phoned me a good 2-3 weeks before. He said, listen, the opponent's injured. Who did you have first? You got injured.
I can't remember.
Oh, terrible that. He'll come to me.
Does that throw off your plan at all? Though? If you're
slightly.
training for a certain opponent and then suddenly they get switched.
Yeah, because it was George Sutcliffe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, very different opponent. So yeah, we did have to switch up what we were going to do because it was a totally different style. Strong lad, CJ Wood, like very tough, very, very durable, strong, short, stocky fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Like Alex said, like was just eating everything up what Alex was giving him. He's not, he don't punch soft. He's not got feather fists, and he was giving it him, and he's smiling away at him and snarling. So
Oh really?
yeah, so we knew we had to, because we knew how tough CJ was, and also like just little things like he's got a big backhand, so he throws a right hand over the top, which is a good shot. So then you just like little reminders, right? We just got to be wary. If you're going to your left, look after your left hand side. Be wary of it.
It's actually very quite detailed for the
Oh,
opponent
massively,
then.
yeah.
So I mean, I imagine if they do switch out shortly before, that could really throw you off.
Yeah, it was lucky. If that had been 24 hours notice like it was for the debut, it'd have been another nightmare.
24 hours, really?
His debut, he had a switch of opponent 24 hours before.
That's killer. Right?
The guy come in, so he went from fighting a 5 foot odd orthodox lad to a 6 foot one southpaw.
Yeah,
it's just literally polar opposite.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but we learnt from that, because that really, looking back, it was a mistake.
Yeah.
As in, he's put young lads like Alex who are on ticket deals are put under a lot of pressure, so he's got a lot of tickets sold.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't fight, he doesn't earn. He's also then got to reimburse everyone for the tickets. He doesn't want to let everyone down, and him being him, just like, yeah, I'll fight anyone. But really, that was a total nightmare. You're changing the opponent, not just from one lad to another, just a totally different fighter altogether on such short notice. It's almost impossible.
Yeah, I might imagine it is.
Yeah.
You still managed to win it, so I guess massive.
The debut,
Kudos
The
to you
debut,
for that.
I lost that one by 1 point. However, I felt I'd done enough for the fight, but with circumstances, it was what it was. But
what we
it was a
learned from
very
it,
good fight, and we learned a lot from it. It was a big sort of step up for me going into the pros, and it sort of took the pressure off me, because I've had a loss now, and I don't need to worry about that now. I'm not like 10 fights in thinking, I don't want to lose. I don't mind. I'm just trying to work forward now and get better as a fighter.
Yeah, it was a blessing in disguise, really.
So, but do you feel quite a bit of pressure going into a fight then, for the reasons you were talking about in terms of not wanting to let people down? And
100%. Yeah, I don't feel so much pressure as in letting people down with the win or loss, because that's more for me. Like I really want to win, and anyone else, obviously, they want me to win, but they're not gonna be upset if I don't. That's more like I'd get upset if I lost, sort of thing. Like be frustrated in myself, especially if I put on a bad performance.
Yeah.
But
I guess it's all about going out knowing that you've done your best.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you can do. Can't you? Go out and do your best, and I do that in every fight throughout the amateurs. As a kid, kickboxing, everything, I've always gone and put 100% on the line, regardless of who the opponent is or what's on the line. But it's more the ticket sales for me, and that's what sort of gets me a bit more worried and stressed out before the fights, because it's a lot to try convince people to buy a ticket, and people at the minute don't want to part with the money, and they don't want to try something new, like coming to a boxing event if they've never been before, or like a lot of people are stuck in their habits of, say, going to the pub on a weekend or spending the money elsewhere, and they don't want to try coming to a boxing event. So it's quite hard to sell the tickets that way, especially not being in Manchester my whole life. I don't have a big following here yet. However, we are building it. So
yeah,
I think that's what I'd like to let people know, whoever does watch this or listens, whatever. When you're a young pro, if you've not had, like, say, a massive amateur background, you're an Olympian or anything like that, one of these big promoters like Eddie Earn or Ben Shalom, whoever's going to sign you and put you on big shows, and you're just getting paid. Frank Warren being another one.
Yeah.
You're on what's called a ticket deal, so you only get paid
if you sell.
Yeah, so you're on a ticket deal.
It's kind of brutal, that. Yeah.
It's brutal, and your ticket's there. It's the opponent, is covered by that, and it's split 50-50 between you and the promotion. So these lads like Alex, and me as well, when I started, you're not coming out with much at all when you first start. You're the one getting paid the least, and you're putting the most into it. And getting punched in the head. So it's
it's
tough, and I'd like people to know that if you are umming and ahhing, maybe something to push you over the line to actually go is, you like Alex because he's a lovely kid and he's grafting.
Mm-hmm.
He's just trying, he's just such a trier with a lot of ability.
Absolutely.
He's only getting paid if you do come, so I know times are hard. Sometimes you can't give him away.
No,
you can't give a ticket away sometimes. It's crazy. For free.
Yeah.
It's mad.
I mean, I guess it's a kind of the cutthroat side to it that you don't, I guess a lot of people wouldn't really understand that. At what level do you start? What level does that change, basically?
It could be all like different levels for a lot of different people. If you have a name behind you, whether it's like your dad was a boxer or your brother's a boxer, or like however it works, or you've got someone in the game, you might be able to, or you've got that Olympic background, you'll have a step up, but you could be having your debut on a TV show and getting your name out there straight away, getting paid like a good amount of money. However, someone like me, it could be 10 fights down the line, I might get an opportunity to fight someone and get on a TV show. It could be 20 fights down the line.
So it's like when the TV rights come in, money
it's kind
starts
of
getting ramped up.
It's luck as much as anything else, really, and just your manager and everything trying to do as much as they can for you. And
it's right fight at the right time. So when an opportunity does, because you may get an opportunity when it's too early. It might not be ideal timing in the coach's mind or the fighter's mind. You might think, it might be a bit of a step up that, but you've also at the same time got to weigh it up and look around and go, am I going to get this phone call again? Okay, if I go into this fight and I don't win, then you look at it, and it's a weird mindset to think I might not win, but you've got to look at things like a victory and defeat. So you might be able to compete with this person who is on this pedestal. You may not beat them, but as long as you put a performance in, and people who are watching on the TV in the arena enjoy your performance, the promoter will then enjoy your performance, and whether you win, lose, draw, you'll get something off the back of it, whether it be a rematch or a fight with another one, and then all of a sudden you might go for a little free fight deal with a big promoter, and then you're guaranteed the money. Then you're not selling tickets, running around, driving, dropping tickets off this, that and the other, texting people, do you want to buy a ticket? You're just going, right, this is your fight, this is how many rounds it is, this is who it's against, and this is how much you're getting paid, and you're like, oh, great,
so much simpler.
That's bang on. Yeah,
and that's where you want to be, I guess.
Yeah,
it's like
a dream.
It's like a game of snakes and ladders, genuinely.
Up, down, up, down, up, down.
Yeah, literally. But even for the guys at the top, one loss, they're just back to square one. It's
really,
they can be. Yeah, and boxing, loves nobody. It's promoters are bothered that you're winning, and bums are on seats. So if all of a sudden the people are interested, they drop
the
you.
money.
Yeah, it's a business.
Yeah. All right. So talking about, I guess, the promotional side of things for yourselves as an upcoming boxer, as someone who has been a boxer, how do you go about doing that in the current age when it comes to things like social media? How do you get yourself out there? How do you kind of build that solid kind of following that sounds like a lot of sportsmen need these days to be able to kind of grow their profile?
That's the money question, really. I think that's what a lot of up-and-coming boxers are still trying to figure out, including myself. I don't have the massive following on social media yet, but I'm trying to get out there. I'm trying to do more, but it's very hard. It's very hard business to be in, and trying to get, when there's a lot of people in Manchester, there's a lot of boxers, a lot of young up-and-coming boxers. So people support who they want to support, and they don't support others. So it is a very cutthroat business, and it's hard to try and get out there, especially on social media, and get the following. You've got to try to do something different, which is very hard. For me, I like hiking and mountain biking and stuff like that. So that's sort of my niche that I try to put on social media, as well as the boxing. I'm all around just physical person who I never sit down. I like to be outside and doing something.
Yeah, okay.
So where other boxers, some people like to just train and then they like having a piss up and whatever. That's not me. I don't drink. I like to be active and that's it.
Oh, that shows you're really taking it seriously as well.